Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of this, and I am back here with another video. And today I am doing What If Naruto Had Doflamingo's Powers, Part 2. I don't have anything special to talk about. I just want to let y'all know that I am sorry that I went a little too fast on the last part. I know it was fast-paced, and I was also talking fast because I was trying not to get interrupted while recording, but I'll try to take this one slow, and if I don't get it all done today, I'll do it the next day, and so on, until I eventually get you the whole part. And I hope y'all don't mind the background noise, my chair creaking, that weird squeak that's coming from the smoke alarm, which is still not fixed yet, so y'all gonna have to bear with that. And yeah, let's go. And no recap this time, y'all. I posted this shit yesterday, come on. So we will begin the second part with Naruto meeting with Hiruzen after a week has passed, and he would ask to go visit the sand. And why is that? Hiruzen would ask, and Naruto would say, I need to talk to Gaara. I need to talk to someone who's the same as me, a Jinchuriki. I mean, come on. Hiruzen would then say, on one condition, you need to deliver this. He then hands him a scroll and says it will be his mission of sorts, and he simply has to deliver it, and Naruto thanks him, saying he'll be going right now. He then runs out with Hiruzen wondering, could it have been Orochimaru? We didn't get to meet the Kazekage that day. Huh. So anyway, Naruto gets ready to leave, and he's near the gates, and of course there is mumbling about him, which is to be expected after the incident, and one of the guards would then say, first mission, huh? What is it? Naruto, suspicious of their actions, would then ask, why the hell are you being so familiar with me? You know too, right? You know what I am? The guard then says, as long as you're a shinobi of the leaf and you do your job, I don't care. Though I can't say I like you personally. I don't need you to like me, Naruto would say, as he then dashes off, heading to the forest in the blink of an eye, and he heads out of the leaf, with the leaf guards then thinking, it's not a surprise that he acts that way. We then go to Naruto, who's going as fast as he can, hoping to get to the village really fast. And so after 2 days, he makes it to the sand, and he would approach its gate, seeing two guards ask why he's here, and seeing he's a leaf shinobi, they're extra suspicious because they technically tried to attack them, not that they know that much. Naruto would then show them the scroll, saying that he needed to hand this to someone qualified to receive it, like the Hokage, their Kage, and the guards would then look at each other weirdly since the Hokage is actually dead, but they let Naruto in, as one of the guards bring him to Baki, and as Baki gets the scroll, Naruto would then ask if he could see Gaara. What are your intentions? I can't talk to him? You have him locked up or something? Baki would then say, you should watch your mouth, kid. You might be a jonin right now, but you're in another village. Be careful. Do you honestly think any of you can take me down? Naruto would ask, and Baki sweats nervously, as he would then say he can see Gaara, but he will be surveilled by their Anbu, and Naruto is fine with that, as he is then brought to Gaara at his home, and outside, he and Baki would then meet the surprised Temari, and Temari would then ask, what are you doing here? Sup, I'm here for Gaara. Temari then asks why he's here for Gaara, and he explains it with her saying Gaara is in his room and she can take him to him, but he should be careful because he's been on edge. So she takes him there, and they open the door to Gaara's room, and he sees Naruto and gets annoyed. When did you get here? Just now. He then walks over to Temari, shutting the door while staying outside, trying to listen in on their conversation, and the village was actually on guard because two Jinchuriki were meeting. They don't know why, but they were meeting. You bastard, why did you come here? Naruto then tells him to calm down, releasing his bloodlust, and Gaara would be frozen, but the effect soon disappears, as Naruto would then say, don't go berserk, we're Jinchuriki, and we already deal with enough as it is. Gaara is surprised to hear Naruto is also a Jinchuriki, and Naruto says that he has the fox in him, which makes Gaara wonder how he managed to stay sane after all this time. Teuchi, the old man, Yuruka-sensei, and as much as I hate to admit it, Sasuke. What does that have to do with anything? I want to be rid of this thing's influence. I can't even sleep. That's exactly it, Naruto would say. I had companions. So do you. They're outside right now. You just don't notice them. Gaara is stunted by hearing this, and this is when Temari hears this, she's also surprised that Naruto can be kind of nice. And Gaara is about to say something when an explosion is heard, with Naruto and Gaara coming to look outside of his window, seeing a guy on a clay bird just causing explosions, and everything is just shaking. The hell, Naruto would say, as panic would be ensuing as the Akatsuki was attacking already, and Deidara is just dropping bombs however he wants, and he's just laughing like a maniac, telling Gaara to come out. They don't know that Naruto's there. So the Sand Ninja, however, retaliate, attacking as they would band together and do a combo jutsu using wind, but Deidara would blow up, would just throw up a giant warp of a wrap of clay, which would just hit and cause a giant explosion, with Deidara then laughing maniacally. But as the smoke clears, it would show that a giant cage made of strings had blocked this. String jutsu. The Nine Tails is here. As Naruto stands among the surprised but relieved ninja, he would then snap his fingers, making the cage disappear. Oh, I was talking to someone. He would then aim his Conqueror Spirit towards Deidara, who would then get frozen, and even though he is not aiming it at them, the other ninja can also feel this intense bloodlust. Naruto with a swipe would then cut Deidara in half as he bursts with blood, just as his bird would also poof, and Naruto would ask if everyone was okay, in an intimidating tone. Yeah, we're fine, thank you. Baki, Tamori, and Conqueror would then run up with a reinforcement, but see everything taken care of, and Naruto isn't actually here anymore. Who stopped them? One ninja would then say Naruto did before then running off, and he looks like he was chasing something. We then find Naruto having tied up Sasori, and he put him to the ground, keeping his foot on him. Essentially, he beat his ass. Naruto, while holding the string around Sasori, then pulls it, making it tighter, and he would then ask, "So you're part of the Akatsuki, right? Who gave you the right to interrupt my talk?" Sasori was struggling to get free, then thinks my chakra won't work. Is he a puppeteer as well? Naruto then asked Sasori what their end goal was, but he said nothing, just as Baki would and the group would then come over, and Baki would say, "Thank you, Naruto. Yeah, I didn't do it for you, okay? This guy attacked and now doesn't even want to give me a reason. That pisses me off." He's actually really rude, they will all think, as Gaara then arrives by teleporting using sand, surprising everyone with him looking down at Sasori. They're the ones who hunt us? You can knock him out, right? Without killing him, Baki would ask, and Naruto hearing this would then exude his energy, pushing back everyone as his eyes go red and Sasori would lose consciousness. Alright then, why are you guys so far away? We saw what you did at the exams. That energy's dangerous, Tamari would say. Naruto would then say they can calm down because he's only focused on Sasori, and though they might feel it, it is not directed at them. And after saying this, he then said he had to go back to the Leaf because, well, honestly, he couldn't really find out much. Gaara is just as broken as he is. And he would say, by the way, Gaara, seriously, dude, if you don't realize what you have, one day you might actually destroy this place. That'd be a waste. He then starts running off, before then disappearing, as Gaara would then turn to Tamori and Kankuro, who asked what's wrong. He would say nothing before then teleporting away. Friends, that's what he meant, he would be thinking. As Gaara then leaves, and Baki would order the ninja to pick up Sasori, and they take him to their lab, and as they would do so, Baki would then say, there was no way we were ever going to win against the Leaf. Then how are they going to react when they find out what we did? Conqueror would ask, and Baki would then say he doesn't know, but it's time to kind of own up to their mistakes. And when Naruto makes it to Konoha, he tells Hiruzen about the Akatsuki trying to attack Gaara, and this surprised him. This is too quick, Hiruzen would say. And Naruto would say, honestly, they weren't that strong. I thought you said people were like ultimate shinobi or really dangerous people. I said they were dangerous, not ultimate. Just stay on guard. They could be in this very village as we speak. So you need to start your training with Jiraiya again. Fine, later then. He would then leave with Hiruzen sighing, and a few days would pass, and Jiraiya teaches Naruto toe summoning, and he would also summon Gamabunta, and as Gamabunta is summoned, he would then ask, this is really the kid who summoned me, Jiraiya? Is it so hard to believe? Naruto, amazed by Gamabunta's size, would then say he's a titan, and Gamabunta gets serious, saying before he could make a contract, he had to prove he was strong. Oh, that's easy then. He would then release his Conqueror Spirit, causing even Gamabunta to be affected by it, as Jiraiya would then be proud to see that Naruto is learning to direct his energy better. So, what do you think, Jiraiya would ask while kind of smirking, and Naruto then stops using the Conqueror Spirit, with Gamabunta saying he's definitely powerful. Huh? You're the one who wanted to see my strength. Why do you seem so shaken up? Make up your mind already. So you're gonna let me summon you, or what? Well, aside from that attitude of yours, you're pretty exceptional. For your age anyway, so you have my permission. Jiraiya would then thank him for allowing Naruto to summon him, and he poofs as Naruto would then make the contract, which makes him a sage officially. Now we need a name for this sage mode, Jiraiya would say, because I haven't even seen anything like it. You don't even need to stay still like I do to gather energy. Is it really that hard? Jiraiya getting discouraged and says, extremely so please stop talking about it like it's no big deal. Sorry. Jiraiya then laughs, saying he's only joking, but they really did need a name for it, and Naruto would say Haki Sage Mode. Haki? Why? It sounds so weird. Naruto would then say, well, whenever I use my nature energy, it comes from sheer will and anger from me. It comes from spirit, so Haki Sage Mode. Or we could just call it Haki. You actually thought about this. Of course I did, Naruto would say. I'm gonna be a famous sage one day, you know, I need proper names for techniques. He then goes off and starts practicing some kicks, with Jiraiya wondering how the Akatsuki will counterattack. Meanwhile, we cut to Pain talking to Konan, with her saying that Naruto is becoming more and more of a problem than they thought, and very fast as well. Then we need to take him out first before he can become a big obstacle. You mean right now? Pain would then say, of course, this has to be done or everything crumbles, but from what I've heard, his Kekkei is quite fearsome, like you said. Conan then nods yes, but it involves strings, and he has a technique which utilizes his bloodlust to freeze enemies. We think it may have something to do with him corrupting the chakra within you. So, remember, it's not fear, it's only the illusion of it, if you are ever to be affected by it. Now, as she says this, we then go to the office of Hiruzen, with the council members having gathered up, with them still not being okay with Naruto being made a Jonin, and Danzo would then say he didn't even have to go through the trials needed for it. He does not know regulations, he does not know all the rules. Hiruzen would then say, yeah, I hear you, yes. And why didn't you say anything when it came to Shikamaru Nara? Koharu would then say, please do not compare the two. Well, Naruto is a genius that triumphs the child of the Nara. He's also, well, you mean the fox? I thought we all knew and established that Naruto was far from under the influence of the QB. Homer would then say, but he changed so fast, that shift in personality, it's bizarre, don't you think? Hiruzen would then say, no, Naruto has always been that way, but with power comes bragging rights. Can you blame him? These past few years are the only times he's been allowed to be free. He's a kid, for God's sake. Danzo would then go to say something, but Hiruzen said that's enough, and he stands up and walks out saying, I don't know when it happened, but this council has become very prejudiced, and you all seem so eager to die. Do I have to remind you that there could be a war still coming? Seriously. He then leaves, slamming the door behind, with Danzo thinking, you don't have the guts to do what it takes, Hiruzen, I promise you. This will lead to the downfall of our village. After this stressful talk, Hiruzen would then go outside, feeling the wind in his face, and he can see that although the people are acting like normal, they are of course putting up a front to also kind of make Hiruzen feel a little better because, well, he's the Hokage, he's the one that has to deal with their problems right now, and he would say, should I call it in? I don't think this old heart of mine can do this any longer. So clearly Hiruzen is about to retire, but not right now, it's actually going to take really long. So we will go to Hinata, as she will be sparring with Hanabi, and and she actually wins with ease, shocking herself and Hiyashi. Have I always been this strong, she would think? And Hiyashi would then say again, but father, Hiyashi would then say again, I must confirm this, go. Hinata then nervously gets in the stance, as does Hanabi, who stands up, and they both stare each other down before Hinata attacks, appearing right in front of Hanabi with a palm strike that sends her flying through the wall of the room. Hinata, worried, would then run to the other side of the room, and she held up Hanabi, who would then say that with a smile that Hinata has become amazing, and she would then ask, what happened while you were gone, big sis? Hinata would then say, I guess I've just gotten so used to Naruto and his attacks, this just feels like nothing. You mean that child of the exams? Hiyashi would ask, and Hinata then nods, just as she helps up Hanabi, and he actually tells her and Hanabi to leave, and so they do, as Hiyashi would then remember the immense pressure he felt from Naruto. No wonder she becomes stronger. No one would come out the same after facing such a thing. It's as if he was imposing his anger and will on me, as if I had wronged him. Old feelings then start to swell up inside Hiyashi, who starts to remember his brother, and he remembers the words that Neji actually told Sasuke when they were fighting, when they were rematching on the other day, and he would then say, this mark of mine is something that is meant to protect my clan, yet it causes me great pain every day, but that is irrelevant because it is my destiny, as much as it is for yours to lose today. Ironically, Neji got his ass beat, but that's besides the point. Now, after having this brief flashback, we then cut to Neji, who by accident would actually meet Naruto, with them crossing paths at the Konoha training grounds, and Naruto would say, oh, it's you, Naruto Uzumaki. Oh, get out of your way, you do your thing. He then starts walking away, with Neji actually being surprised that he had a joining vest, but more importantly, he had to ask something. How did you change your destiny? Lady Hinata's. Naruto would then turn to Neji with a annoyed face. You need to drop that destiny crap. I don't think you get that people aren't born with a destiny. Your life just really sucks, so that's what you believe. Neji then gets angered at this, but continues to listen, saying, I never broke her destiny, because there is no such thing. What happens is based on your choice. I don't know why I have to tell that to a genius like you. When you fought Sasuke, first, you thought it was going to be easy. You thought you were going to beat him, didn't you? Neji would then say he wouldn't stop attacking until, well, he eventually got me. Naruto would then say, hence your injuries. He chose to beat you because that's what he wanted, as much as Hinata didn't care if you said it was her destiny to lose. Now leave me alone, I have to go train, White Eyes. He would then storm away angry, with Neji wondering what has he been thinking for the past few days and years, and wondering if his ideology is wrong, because he can still remember that look in Hinata's eyes and Sasuke's eyes, because when he thought he was going to beat Sasuke legitimately, swept him under the rug, beat the crap out of him, in an insane way. And he would then think, I don't know why, but it gave me the chills. Now after this, a few days have passed and the village is slowly calming down, with people starting to think of Naruto as far less dangerous, even though they still hate him, and harbor hate for him. As for Naruto, he is just talking with Hinata. They're just walking about, whatever, they're having fun, when they were then caught in an explosion which would destroy building after building, leaving a huge crater near the Hokage monument. And we then see, as the dust clears, that Naruto has protected him and Hinata by enveloping her and himself with armament Haki. So we're next, huh? The Leaf Shinobi, despite being surprised by this sudden attack, would attack the Akatsuki just as they would land in this big crater that they made. And Hiruzen starts to kind of evacuate the villagers, and Kurenai, Asuma, Kakashi would all attack the Pains just as they land in the out of the crater. They land and walk out of the crater. I'm really confusing this. I'm making this way worse. Now, the Leaf Shinobi, despite being surprised by this attack, would go to where the explosion was happening, and Hiruzen starts an evacuation of the villagers. And this is when Kurenai, Kakashi, Asuma, they would all attack, and they would just go to the crater, obviously. And this is when the Pains would walk out of the crater, as the main one would then put his hand out, saying, "Shibaku Tensei." The ninja would then all be pulled over by force, as the Pain would then knock them back using Shinra Tensei. And from above them, Naruto would then jump and land as he claws the Pains, ripping them to shreds. Some of them, not all of them, and he would say, "Bring it on." Only 4 Pains remain, having barely avoided Naruto's attack, and Guy enters the 5th gate, appearing right in front of the Deva path, only to be grabbed by the Animal path, who intercepts him and starts sucking away his chakra. The main Pain then gets up, saying, "We only want Naruto Uzumaki. Come with us, or things will get ugly." Naruto, hearing this, would then get mad at this threat, and that they're leveraging people to get to him, and he releases his Conqueror's Haki, but it does nothing to the Pain. How? What's wrong, Kakashi would ask, and Naruto says he cannot affect them, and one of the Pains would then be putting the pieces of the cut-up Pains into the King of Hell to heal them, when Naruto then says they still have a chance. Stay back. He then walks forward and slowly uses his observation to look at the enemy's flow of chakra, while also seeing how much Guy Sensei is being weakened, and the Pain would then ask, "Have you given up?" Not a chance. As he says this, the Pain that is trying to heal the others, and all the other Pains, are grabbed up from below by strings that are around them, before then slithering around them and ripping them to shreds, going back into the ground. Like, they're just... "Guy Sensei, you good?" Naruto would ask, and Guy would then fall over as he puts a thumbs up. Kakashi then runs over checking on him, and he would say that, well, he is weak, he is weakened, and this is when Hiruzen would arrive on the scene, asking if everything was okay. "No thanks to you. I was doing my job, you brat, but they're done for, right?" Naruto would then nod as he walks over to the corpses, realizing that these people were never alive, and they had these rods in them that transferred the real Master's chakra to them. And as he looks far off with his observation Haki, he can then sense Nagato, who is currently trying to escape with Konan because his plans fell apart. "But how couldn't you see it?" Konan would ask as they're escaping, and Nagato shakes his head, saying he barely managed to do anything at all, and his strings don't seem to have a natural flow of chakra. "I can sense him creeping up on me." As he says this, Naruto then crashes into the tree with a maniacal smile, saying, "So which one of you is it, huh?" He would then land, and behind him would form a ball of string, and he would ask, "Why is it that you bastards always interrupt me while I'm talking?" Konan then gets in front of Nagato, starting to turn into paper, and Naruto would then ask, "How many Jinchuriki have you gotten? How many Jinchuriki have you gotten?" "What?" Naruto would then ask the question again, imposing all his will on Konan, who had no choice but to answer truthfully, saying they had not killed or captured any yet. What incredible pressure, Nagato would think, as Naruto then stops using his Haki, and he would say, "You understand that I still have to kill you now, right?" The string ball then releases some tendrils out, and they're about to attack when he would then hear "wait," and Hiruzen and Jiraiya arrive on the scene, with Jiraiya being shocked when he sees his old students. "How is that possible?" "Hello, Sensei," Nagato would say, and Naruto would then ask, "You know them?" Jiraiya then nods. Hiruzen would then ask why they are gathering the Biju, and Nagato says to bring peace, eternal peace. "But why would you ever resort to this? Hunting down kids? Innocent people?" The two however say nothing when Naruto then tells Jiraiya and Hiruzen to step back, and from around them a bunch of kunai are just thrown at them before then being stopped by Naruto's wires, and they are cut to pieces in the air. Obito, who Naruto has sensed, then starts to warp right in front of Naruto, and he's about to kind of stab him when Naruto sees him using his observation Haki, and then he activates his armament and would punch down at him. He's fast for sure, Obito would think, but if I can just get even one final blow, he'll beat. Before he can even finish his words, Obito is punched so hard that he crashes into the tree and starts to break it in half from the impact, and he's just going down and down from Naruto's punch. As the tree starts to split, it starts falling, and Naruto actually has his string ball sent out a bunch of tendrils that are holding it up together, and another tendril would kind of lift up Obito back in front of Naruto, and he's kind of out cold for now. And Naruto would then ask, "Are you stupid or something? When someone punches you, you dodge." Konan and Nagato are left in awe, as Obito can never actually be touched, but Naruto managed to negate that ability and reach him. "You have a lot to talk about, you bastards." Hiruzen would then ask, "Naruto, you still have enough chakra?" Naruto then Sasuke go back to Konoha village, where on the Hokage monument will be the rest of the remaining Akatsuki, and that means Madara, Kisame, Itachi, Hidan, Kakuzu, and the newly rejoining Orochimaru. Why was this part of the plan, Orochimaru would ask, and Madara would then say, because I want to see how you will fare. Madara would then clap his hands together as down below, when Hinata is helping evacuate some villagers along with Sasuke and the other Konoha 11, a shadow starts to loom over them, and the rest of the village just look up in horror when they see a giant meteor coming for them. We're doomed. This sends everyone into a panic, and everyone's trying to, the ninjas are trying to evacuate them, but it's not going well. As this one, we find Naruto running for the village at full speed. I'm almost there, he would say, as by this point the gigantic meteor is about to hit, when Naruto lands on top of the Hokage monument, and he would just yell, take cover, and he would put both his arms up, releasing an infinite amount of strings, which would bend and kind of cover the entire village, forming a giant cage. And everyone who recognizes this, just in awe, as Sasuke would then soon find Naruto blocking this giant meteor, and as it hits, it causes everything to shake, and more strings are being added to the cage so that it doesn't go through and fall onto the villagers. And Madara and the Akatsuki are wide-eyed. He's just as amazing as you said. Orochimaru himself is surprised by all of this, but laughs nervously when he sees another meteor falling, and he would ask, how will you fare, Naruto? The shaking village then soon stops shaking as Naruto holds back the meteor, stopping it from tumbling into the village, as some of the debris falls down through the space in the cage, and the villagers cannot believe what they're seeing. Naruto! Naruto! Sasuke would yell, as he would then run up to Naruto, who would then say to be quiet. This takes a lot of concentration. How much chakra are you using? Naruto would then say, it's not about the chakra. My arms are feeling the weight of the meteor itself. Be quiet. He's feeling the weight of that thing? This is, however, when another meteor would fall on top of this, causing the weight to increase 100-fold, and everyone, instead of screaming, is quiet, seeing Naruto is still somehow holding on. It is an amazing spectacle. Don't screw with me. Naruto would then enter his Haki Sage mode, gaining marks from his eyes to the rest of his entire body, and he'll be covered in black marks all over, and they also have a tint of red, as in an instant the two meteors are cut to shreds, with the case essentially just exploding into the air. It folds into the air and cuts through it. And then Naruto would say, string release. Birdcage. He actually did it, Sasuke would think. As Naruto then, seeing that this isn't over, jumps into the air, pushing back Sasuke, and he would have Lee appear right by him. I will help as best as I can. Don't slow me down, then Naruto would say, as the two start a flurry of combos to knock away the debris that is falling, and Hiruzen and Jiraiya would arrive, and they summon their respective animals. Gamabunta would take some hits from the rest of the debris, while King Emma has to elongate his adamantite staff, and just knock away some debris as well. And the only thing that is going through their minds is how amazing and spectacular this event was, and eventually it is soon taken care of, with Naruto landing back down, holding Lee, who was hurt all over from using the gate so much to such a degree. Stay here. He would then lay down Lee and turn back to go after the Akatsuki, who he still kind of senses, and he would once again release his conqueror spirit, bringing all of the Akatsuki on the Hokage monument to their knees, except Madara because he's in reanimation. And as Madara looks at everyone, he only becomes more impressed with this kid. How is he doing that? Hidan would ask, as Hidan's eyes would then actually roll up into his eyes and loses his consciousness. As does everyone. Itachi, they all fall to the ground like flies, even Orochimaru. Amazing. Through force of sheer will. Madara then gets a cut on his cheek as he backs away, and this is when his arm is actually cut off as well by Naruto's strings. He reached me. Naruto, while being quite far, could still see Madara really clearly, and this experience and the stress on his body, while it was hurtful, was still kind of sharpening his senses, and he would then ask, get over here. Madara is then pulled to Naruto at impressive speed, and as he was about to land down, he would see Naruto about to punch him, but he dodges, slamming his feet into the ground, causing tree branches to sprout up and wrap him up, but then the trees would be blown away by Naruto's armament Haki. That won't work on me, you bastard. This time his Haki reaches Madara, whose tree branches would be retracted as he cannot get up to his feet. Go to sleep, you zombie bastard. With Naruto's intense will being forced on him, Madara's connection to Orochimaru's reanimation jutsu is cut. They start to dissipate just as Hiruzen arrives, and he is shocked to see the face of Madara. How is that possible? He would then be startled by Naruto's voice, who would then say, Oi, old man, give me some goddamn food. His black marks and red marks start to fade, and he exits this Haki mode, and his stomach will be rumbling as he falls, and Hiruzen doesn't really know what is happening, but what matters is getting Naruto help. When Jiraiya arrives, he would then say that unfortunately Obito escaped, ripping out one of the eyes of Nagato, who is barely holding on and is bleeding, with Konan trying to keep him alive. And Hiruzen would then say, too much has happened, just bring them in. Now we kind of have a common goal, but we'll take care of them. We'll be fine. Is he alive, Jiraiya would ask, and Hiruzen then nods as he then looked at the Hokage monument, where he thought he felt something, but there was nothing there now. After this huge attempt on destroying Konoha occurred, the need for Hokage Summit was needed, and during this, it took about a week to set up, and until Hiruzen left, and Naruto had not woken up yet. Jiraiya, during the time before the summit, went and got Tsunade to come protect Konoha with him, and also she could take a look at Lee and Naruto's bodies. And at the hospital, Tsunade is healing Naruto, with Jiraiya asking if he's okay, and Tsunade would then say, Jiraiya, this kid isn't hurt. So the fox did heal him, Jiraiya would say, and he's kind of happy. As Tsunade would then ask what happened before, and he says that both his arms were broken from holding the meteors up. Brutal, Tsunade would say, as she would then say, as for Lee, he's already up and hurting himself. These kids are crazy as hell. In the instant she says this, Naruto's eyes would open wide as he grabs Tsunade's arm, just squeezing it, as Jiraiya would then say, Naruto, let go, she's helping you. Naruto, after hearing Jiraiya's voice, would then let go of Tsunade, who would then back away, and Naruto sits up, and he would then ask, who is she? Tsunade in anger would then yell, what, you little shit, are you trying to kill me? Oh, my Haki, sorry about that, I'm high on edge, so it must have leaked out by accident. You leaked out bloodlust by accident? It comes from a special sage mode. It can turn his bloodlust into a weapon. It can also cancel jutsu, but he hasn't learned to control it yet, Jiraiya would say. And Tsunade would then say, and this is the kid everyone is calling the hero, the kid who just tried to kill me. Naruto, after hearing this, asked her to repeat it, as Jiraiya would then bring him outside, and when he steps out, the hospital would be surrounded by people who will be bowing to him, not even like cheering like crazy, they're just bowing, like they have intense respect. Like this kid protected their lives with his life on the line. And Naruto would just be asking, like, seriously? Get used to it, Joker. Naruto would then say, what? That's what they named you because of how much you messed around. That's more of an insult though, isn't it? I mean, are you gonna deny it? It's a pretty good nickname. You know what, screw it, I'm gonna just go along with it, Naruto would say, as he would then walk over to the crowd and he would say hi, like how a celebrity would say hi to his fans. And soon Konoha 11, like the whole Konoha 11, here's Naruto woke up and they come to meet him at the hospital, and they're happy he's alive because, well, especially Sasuke, who was unlocked the 3-Tomoe Sharingan already due to watching Naruto almost die and being told by Hiruzen that the Akatsuki must have been near, and that means that Itachi was involved in almost killing his new friend, and that enraged him. Do you feel like sleeping more? Naruto, while laying on his bed, would then say hell no, as before him Tenten, Kiba, Lee, Choji, Neji, all of them are there, even Shikamaru, and of course Hinata are there. And Naruto would then ask, did they attack again while I was gone? If they did, we wouldn't be talking right now, Neji would say, and Kiba would say, I'm surprised you stopped one, but 2 of those things? Seriously, you gotta be the most stubborn person alive, I mean, to keep trying like that. Naruto would say, yeah, of course, because I was trying to keep you weak bastards alive. This makes Kiba pop a vein, but he lets it pass, sighing, which makes Naruto weirded out because everyone hates when he talks that way, and Kiba would say, and in case you're wondering why, I've kind of gotten used to it. You're not wrong, I couldn't do anything. I was only trying to run. You faced it head on, though. Well, they're gonna come back again, so you can get a rematch if you want. Well, I wouldn't go that far. This makes everyone laugh at him, but the atmosphere is a bit more lighthearted before the laughing then comes to a stop, and Sasuke would say, so, the 4th Great Ninja War. We're gonna have to fight, aren't we? Kakashi would then enter the room seeing the kids, and he says, sorry to bother you guys. Did something happen, Kakashi-sensei? Hinata would ask, and Kakashi would say, I just want to let you know that you will probably have to train harder than you ever have. In case this type of thing happens again, we cannot have anyone take the full brunt of everything. The Akatsuki has declared war on all the nations. The kids are wide-eyed when they hear this, but Kakashi says because of Naruto, they will have a bit of time before they truly start the war. And Kakashi would say, I give it about 1 year or 2.5 tops. And on top of that, Madara is the one who did it. You mean the guy who went head-to-head against the first Hokage? Do we even have a chance? Shikamaru would ask. Naruto would then say, oh, you mean the guy with the long spiky hair and Rinnegan? I kicked his ass. Everyone looks at Naruto with a shocked look, with them saying, what? He tried and failed. Why do you guys always look so surprised at everything I do? Because I don't think you just realized what you just said. It's Madara, Shikamaru would say. And Naruto says, no, I do. I'm just a little bit stronger. And with this, a 2-year time skip starts, and some changes are gonna finally occur. And the changes are not really gonna be like for everyone, because I don't have time to talk about how everyone has improved. This change will come to Team 7 and Lee. because that's gonna be. If someone asked me in the comments if I'm gonna make a whole, like, you know, Don Quixote family, technically this is Naruto's little family, and he will expand it, and anyone who he deems worthy to join will join. Even if they are evil, he'll just convert them with talking Jutsu, you know, all that shit. So Lee actually learns how to fortify himself using this new concept of being able to condense chakra to a crazy level. So when he opens the gates, this gives him something new that he refers to as, instead of like the locked gates, he calls it just the opening, like that. With this, guy also gets stronger learning it as well, and they had a natural aptitude for it, as when they use this, they don't explode with chakra like they usually do. They are covered by a cloak of calm energy, and this opening had the same 8 gates with the power depending on how much you can focus your power after releasing it. Like when they release the gates, when they focus the power instead of releasing it like crazy, that's what is called the full opening for them, and this gives them insane power. So by going higher and higher in the gates, if Lee can control it, he becomes way stronger, like 4 times stronger than the normal gate would be. So Lee can actually control 6 gates up to this point, and Guy at this point is basically unstoppable. Like my dude already mastered the gates. So on top of this, if he learned that on top of this dude gonna destroy niggas in the war. Anyway, Hinata soon also actually surpasses Neji, becoming more prominent, like someone they respect in the clan, and she's fully recognized as the next heir. With all this crazy stuff that happened, it made Hiyashi finally realize that the curse seal kind of needed to disappear, so he got rid of it. And Hinata, using that style she developed from Naruto, named it the rupturing palm technique, and this allowed her to gather chakra to the very tip of her fingers, allowing her to leave deep cuts on her opponent even if they dodged. And her senses were enhanced to an incredible degree from training against Naruto. Like I said, she has a 6th sense, and her twin lion's fist technique is basically perfected. As for Kakashi, since the Sharingan can't be enhanced like how Naruto can use observation, actually no, screw that. I'm gonna let him copy that concept. Kakashi can enhance his own eyes with chakra in the same way that Naruto does. Naruto just twists it a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. And he also works on taijutsu, and he lasts longer with the Sharingan because he can use that concept of observation to enhance how long he can use it for. So he gets more of infinity for it, and he also uses Mangekyo more instead of being a dumbass and never training with it, until it eventually led to him being weakened, and then Yamato took over. I'm really roasting Kakashi right now, aren't I? Anyway, he does train, and he also discovers Kamui, and he has actually managed to meet Tobi by accident. So they learn their dimensions are connected, but this also means Naruto can be brought into the dimension, so it makes it hard for Tobi to travel around, and it limits him a lot, which is kind of funny when you think about the situation. Imagine Tobi just coming into his own dimension, and he sees Naruto fucking around in it, he just fucking leaves. That's hilarious. So, and here comes Sasuke. Yeah, let's go Sasuke. By far, best power-up. Sasuke can now fully control his 3 Tomoe and has mastered it, being able to cast Genjutsu without anyone even knowing, and he no longer needs to look at you to cast it like Itachi does. And he just needs to connect his chakra to you. He has become way physically stronger, learning Lightning Stream, and has brought it to a level where if he joined the Akatsuki right now, he would be like probably top ranked, and he is stronger than he was when he fought B and he joined the Akatsuki. And one thing he focuses on a lot is speed, because training with Naruto, you need to be fast enough to move and attack before getting hit or after getting hit, because it's still hard for Sasuke to see the strings even after he's mastered his power to such a degree. And like Hinata, this makes him develop a 6th sense where he can feel the vibrations of the wires, because it's in the air and it's moving so fast. But because it's moving so fast, he still can't dodge it in time. And he can also use lightning to enhance his whole body and physical strength, and can definitely match Itachi in prowess at this point. He's like the right Kage now, except A has developed that jutsu for years, so it's not that OP yet. As for the main man himself, Naruto, he's basically God now. Naruto's God now. He's God. Having gotten the ability to basically make anyone submit to you with your will by exuding energy is kind of overpowered, and now he can do that freely. His physical strength is also insane to the point where if he he can cause internal damage now with ease. He doesn't really need to forcefully do it. He can control it more, and he also increases his speed more. His observation can let him see across an entire landscape if he focuses enough, like how Eneru can on the entire Sky Island. And he has figured out how to walk in the sky by connecting strings into clouds and giving him insane movements, and he's learned to apply his wind nature to his strings, which is going to make for some devastating attacks. And the most impressive of all is that Naruto can now control people with strings. Now, he barely uses this ability because he finds it cowardly, but he can use it, and he can direct Conqueror's Haki better now. So if he doesn't want to affect you, you will not be affected at all. That is all. I mean, I don't even need to go into detail. Y'all know how awesome Haki is. I don't need to go into details of what he can do. This dude is a monster now. So, back to the main story. 2 years have passed, so this means Hinata and Sasuke have also become Jonin, and preparations for war are being made since there have been signs of Zetsus and reanimating people coming back and going after Bijus. They failed though, because in the Leaf, countries have banded together to protect the Biju, but Naruto is also the special agent for this. He's the one leading the charge to protect the Biju. And yeah, he and Team 7 are the ones, along with Lee, are the ones who are stopping the Biju. They've been doing it for the past 2 years. And yeah, they're just the best people to help him with this. So on a certain day, Sasuke, after receiving a report from Hiruzen, looks for Naruto and senses him on the Hokage monument. And as he walks up to it, he jumps, from top to top, just goes for him. And he lands, seeing Naruto, and he would then say his name. And Naruto would then get up, saying, I know, they're on the move. And that brings us to the end of this What If. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed making it. Second part already out. I hope you all like it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, all that stuff, notifications. And I will come back later with What If Deku had Benimaru's powers. Benimaru Shinmon from Fire Force, not Benimaru the Kijin from the Slam anime. Please look at his fucking eyes. I don't know why none of you look at his eyes. You do know what Benimaru looks like, right? I know it's not that big of a deal, but it's honestly pissing me off. Come on, guys. Seriously. It's a simple detail. Alright, I'm gonna leave. Look at his eyes. It's Benimaru Shinmon. Stop asking me who he is. You know who he is. It's obvious. Look at him.